Hi there, I'm Sridhar from B2Brain. One of the things that we often hear from salespeople is to be able to analyze the quarterly and annual reports of companies, enterprises that they're going after, to understand interesting insights that they can use in their outreach to personalize and make the messages much more relevant. So I thought we'll just give it a try and see how it works out if we were to take a company and analyze its quarterly earnings and transcripts to understand what insights we can uncover. I'm doing this on the fly. The company that I picked up today is Caterpillar. You know Caterpillar already. Caterpillar is a fairly large enterprise located in Deerfield, Illinois, and is into heavy equipment, financing behind those equipments, a whole bunch of engines and machines and manufacturing. So their business spans manufacturing, inventory, sourcing a lot of raw material, managing different distribution networks, different suppliers, managing different dealers through whom they are selling their machines to various customers and so on and so forth. So you can assume that the mainline business would need technology support and capability to perform all of these parts of the business, execute all these parts of this business in a very efficient way. The key is to find out what might be some of those areas of interest or areas of focus for Caterpillar at this point in time and tailor your outreach to relevant people in the company. If you want to go to find out where is Caterpillar's quarterly earnings report to be found on their website itself, you can go investors.caterpillar.com and pick up information. Latest Q2 report. They've just released their second quarter earnings call on the 2nd of August. Let's for a minute assume that you want to find out what areas around supply chain, logistics, and transportation is Caterpillar speaking about in their business. What is happening in the company? Okay, so very simple. You can go down, open this transcript, which is a fairly detailed documentation that you can find. I've opened that here. Earnings call transcript. Just search. What do you find? So they have seen reduction in sales due to supply chain constraints. Now, all of us know that there is a whole bunch of constraints in the supply chain across the globe. It's unlikely that this will reduce in the short term, probably over the next 3 to 6 months, right? They also believe that if the supply chain constraints were not there, they would have probably returned better sales. The increase in sales was due to better price realization. Okay, and they continue to have fairly solid order book with a backlog that's grown up to over $2 billion in the quarter, which is fantastic. I mean, they still have a lot of orders to be serviced. The interesting part here is that despite the fact that the company is facing supply chain constraints and challenges, they still expect to meet the year-end targets for their earnings or free cash flow, which indicates that the business is doing very strong. Some of the long-term directions and short-term ability for the company to manage their business. Have them in your back pocket. Always helpful. Here's the second part. Where are they investing? The company is ramping up projects from the Infrastructure and Jobs Act, right? That's likely to have an impact on the business in the rest of this year and next year. Even though their residential projects expectation is coming down, which is interesting. They also have a fairly global and international business because they expect the APAC market to grow, the Asia Pacific region to grow. Ultimately, the construction part of the arm of the business is likely to have a healthy growth for rest of the year. So you can see that despite supply chain challenges, the company is executing on a strong order book. Their construction business is expected to grow. They would like to improve their ability to generate operating margins. which means if you're providing supply chain services, you can give them a level of optimization and capabilities in order for them to execute the supply chains more efficiently. That might perk up their interest. That's how one would interpret what the company is talking about. They're doubling down on construction, investments around construction, which means things around sourcing, procurement, managing materials, managing inventory. All of these will become important for them to maintain their margins. Yet another indicator of how to interpret where the company is headed and see how to align with the direction of where the company is going and present your solutions and products in that context. Two interesting data points. I'm sure there are a lot more. I will come back for more analysis of similar companies. But if you've seen this and if you think this is of value to you, let me know in the comments. I'll be more than happy to fine tune. By having that intelligence around what your customers might need or your prospects might look for, you can come across as being thoughtful, informed, and well-researched. B2Brain automates your entire research process. So if you were to go after Caterpillar, you were to sell supply chain services or warehousing or inventory management or efficient manufacturing, you might be able to find a lot of these and more in the form of talking points from B2Brain. Have a good one.